Everyone, if you're new here, I'm Esther Perez, and all of August I'm going to be having a destination wedding planning series, dropping multiple videos multiple times a week with different information on it, so don't forget to like and subscribe to get more of that. I do have to apologize to everyone who is familiar with what I normally look like. I have an eyebrow appointment today, so I could not do much face makeup, so you're gonna see like redness, lots of pores, and my eyebrows are not done, but bear with me, I will look a lot better in the next video. So for today's video, I really wanted to do general Q&A when it comes to the destination wedding. So I have my laptop, my phone, and I have questions everywhere. And I want it to be very impromptu. So I'll be looking through some of the comments I've gotten in videos, some of the emails. Thank you for sending them to me. It really makes me feel like I have this cute little community when you all send me emails about the destination wedding process and questions, so please keep sending them. So for the destination wedding Q&A, I'm going to start with some questions that I got on YouTube. I have responded to some of them, but I thought it'd be nice to make a video in more detail. So this first question says they are planning on having a destination wedding at Majestic Elegance in Cancun, which is where I had our wedding. And they had questions about the Sky Lounge and why I wasn't able to access it for the wedding. Also, if the resort holds one wedding or multiple weddings a day. That's a really good question. And what did I think about the food for the wedding? So I'm going to start with the last one. The food for the wedding was wonderful. We actually just had some friends over this past weekend, and one of them specifically said that the food was so good. We actually traveled with him and his wife to a different resort in Los Cabos, and we will never forget, the trip was fun because we're really good friends with the couple, but at the same time his wife was sick the entire time because of the food at that resort. She was not digesting it well. And so he is the ultimate judge of good food. Him and his wife were able to eat all the food at Majestic Elegance Resort. They loved the food at the wedding. He just kept bringing up how it was great food. So if you are thinking about having your wedding at Majestic Elegance and you're just not sure about the food, let me assure you it was great. Now I do want to pull up the wedding package that we picked for food. When you're planning your destination wedding, you will get different forms surrounding the different food packages, and I want to say there's a silver, a gold, and platinum tier, if that makes sense. And we ended up going with the pricier option. It's there's a platinum, a gold, and silver tier, and the silver tier is the cheapest, gold's in the middle, platinum is I think the most expensive one, and we ended up doing that one. On my end, on my invoice, that's what I'm reading, it says luxury, so maybe it was listed by luxury and what else. But anyways, our buffet per person was $110, and I think the other options were obviously all below that. And I think the cheapest might have been either $55 or $75. Those are the numbers coming to me right now. So we did the best food you could get there. I'm not sure what the other options looked like off the top of my head. When you start planning at Majestic Elegance, they'll send you a lot of documents, and they will describe out everything in really great detail. There are a lot of times you can't swap food. Let's say you like one item that's on the platinum and then you want one that's on the silver. They don't really let you swap out like that. So I would say if you have it in your budget, always go with the higher end items. For us, we knew we were going to do the best plates we could get. Dion is a foodie, and so we just had to. All right, so I want to answer the rest of that question, and it was, does the resort have one wedding or multiple weddings? And I only saw one wedding per day when I was there, and I did get there on Tuesday, and I think we saw in total 2 weddings between Tuesday and Saturday, or between Tuesday to Tuesday, I think is what we stayed. And I saw maybe 2 to 3 weddings, none of them on the same day as mine. So maybe a 1 wedding a day. This is something you can also ask the resort. You can ask them how many weddings they host in a day, if you think that might take away from your service level agreements with them. And then I was not able to get the Sky Lounge because it books out so much in advance. And so when I was looking into having the wedding at Majestic and I inquired about the Sky Lounge, they were like, nope, it's already taken up. Looking back now at what the resort looks like after having been there, I don't think the Sky Lounge is like worth it. And I hope like anyone from Majestic Elegance that watches these videos, like I don't mean that in like an awful way. I just mean that in the sense of the Sky Lounge was like in the middle of the resort, and I don't think I would have liked that for myself and my wedding party. Whereas where I had my wedding, it was in the Sky Terrace, and it's kind of like off into its own little area. We have like the rooftop view. And whereas I feel like the Sky Lounge, like I thought that was going to be more so like a rooftop view, and it wasn't. It was more so like in the middle of the resort area and just like high up, but not really like rooftop vibes like the terrace was. Okay, another question I got was someone said, I don't mean to be rude, but how much did you spend on the wedding? I've answered this in another video, but technically on the wedding itself, I think I spent a little bit under 17,000 or so. In total, we spent 20,000. Now, keep in mind that 20,000 number is also including our guest welcome event and the bridal suite that I booked for the day of the wedding. That guest welcome event, like I did not have to have it. And the bridal suite, obviously you don't have to have that for a wedding either. So I would say probably like 16 to 17,000 on the actual wedding. Now, if you want the full breakdown of how much I spent for all of the events that I did there and look at my invoice, you can watch my other video on this where I mentioned having a wedding for under 20K. I think if I didn't do all of the extras, I could have had a wedding for under 15K in Cancun. So do with that what you will. Now, I did get a question regarding the travel agent, and I have been messaging people separately when they email me who my travel agent was. I do not recommend going with that travel agent. I also got word that there's another travel agency that hasn't been the easiest to work with. I'm not going to put that in this video, but if you want to know about the two travel agencies that I don't recommend based off my own experience and another bride's experience, please email me. One thing I will say going back to travel agents is do your research on them, as well as really understand like what the service level agreement is in the contract. Like if they're not up to par, like I would make sure there's a clause in your contract of what it would mean to cut the contract and cut their relationship with them. I got a question regarding the pricing at Majestic Elegance for guests. And this one says they want to know if the pricing is similar to what I got, and it was 2 adults and 4 nights for about $2,392. And that was somewhat similar, I would say. For us, I really feel like the travel agent was like really scamish. And so we got this like breakdown, and it was like per person per night for the cheapest room, the junior suite with an outdoor jacuzzi, single was going to be, and that's a single bed, I believe, $434 a night. So that was like the total price for one room per person per night. I honestly hate like the cost to the guests for destination weddings, and I wish I would have looked more into this. One advice I gave one bride that reached out to me asking about like what the pricing looks like for the guest is negotiate if you can. A lot of times I don't think we're negotiating the rates because we just don't know any better. But for rooms, definitely negotiate, especially based off what you're seeing online. And one thing that I called out was at Majestic Elegance in Cancun, Southwest Vacations has a deal going on, and I just used random dates. But it was about 4 nights, a hotel and flight for $1,515. And that is a lot cheaper than what my guest paid and what I think this bride who emailed me, her guest will pay as well. So negotiate the prices, negotiate the rates for the rooms. I think a lot of times like you can find just such better deals going outside of the travel agency. And I think it's because the travel agency is getting like a cut of their own amount. But the bad thing is, like, you need a certain amount of guests to book through that travel agency, they say, to have the wedding there. So just negotiate as much as you can. Check out what other people are offering. Check out who will give your guests the best rate. Another question I got was, what was your experience with the spa with hair and makeup? And then they let me know they booked the bridal suite, which includes hair and makeup, and they're trying to decide if they want to do a trial or not. So I did book the suite. The bridal suite was super cute. I will say the lighting was not the best in there. And we only had it for that day. And so we had to make sure we cleared everything out of the room before actually like going to the ceremony. So that was a little bit hectic. If I could go back, I don't think I would book the bridal suite, honestly. And that is to no fault of them, of like the resort itself. For me, it was just too hectic trying to get everything out of the bridal suite before the wedding actually started, because like we got like ready in there, you know, hair and makeup in there, our clothes were everywhere, there was like sandals all over the place. So I think it much would have been better had we gotten ready in someone's room where we don't have to be in a rush to get our stuff out and can go back like the next morning and get our stuff out nice and calmly, and we knew our stuff was going to be safe. What I did love about the bridal suite was that it was like one place we could all get ready together. We got appetizers delivered there. We had balloons. My dress was set up beautifully. I think if I could go back, I would try to negotiate with Majestic Elegance and say, like, can we still get the mannequin for my dress? Can we still get balloons and appetizers and champagne, but sent to like my room? And maybe in my room, the girls get ready. I think that would have been a lot better. Now, I will say the cool thing about the bridal suite is that they give you like a hydrating facial, makeup, hairstyling, lashes, 3 bottles of champagne, juices, appetizers, all that. And it's $600 USD for 10 guests, which is $20 USD for each additional guest. I will say no one was really monitoring how many guests I had in there. So if you're going to take more, I don't know if you need to like disclose that up front. But I did use the hair styling service that was included in the bridal suite, and I liked how my hair turned out. I showed them a photo of what I wanted. I think they got really close with like how my hair is, and it stayed all night. Like they were using the right products. They were hairspraying a lot. So I have no complaints about my hair. I think it turned out really well. I did my own makeup actually for the wedding. I am very picky about what I look like, except for today when you see my redness everywhere. But I'm usually very picky about what I look like because I never want to put makeup on and look like a completely like different person. I more so just want to like cover up my redness and enhance what's already there. I really wanted to have like a very like natural glam. I wanted to look like myself. I wanted to, like, years from now when I'm like old and wrinkly, to look back at the pictures and be like, that was me. Like that's what I looked like then. And I think like I accomplished that. So I'm happy with that. Now what I can speak to is, so you get that free makeup and free hair when you book the bridal suite. I took the hair and I asked if I could transfer the makeup service to my mom. My mom's makeup looked so good. She ended up getting her free makeup because it was included and I wasn't going to use it. So I thought that was really nice of them to transfer the service. And then they did her makeup so well. To this day, she's getting compliments. My bridesmaids were like gassing her up galore. They even put eyelashes on her. Like she looked so good. And like I just feel like she was so confident that day. And usually my mom is someone who hates getting her makeup done, doesn't want anyone touching her face. So I remember when she was done and she looked at me, she's like, do I look okay? I'm like, yes. She's like, the eyelashes aren't too much. I'm like, do not touch them. like they looked so good. I don't know. I think like, I feel like you can trust them. I know it's so like nerve-wracking because it's your wedding and you want it to be perfect. But I think if you're able to do maybe a trial, and if that would make you like more comfortable with the experience and ease your nerves a bit, then go do that. Do a trial. But I definitely suggest using their services. I had a great time with it. My mom had a good time with it. And I hate to bring it up, but if you bring in like an external vendor for your makeup and hair, they will charge you. So, okay, the next question is, how did you travel with all your wedding decor? We also want some table decor and party favors. So with taking them, we want to save some money. And we booked through Southwest. With Southwest at that time, now it's changed a bit, but at that time it was 2 free bags that are checked. And so I got 2 bags that were checked, and Dion, my husband, got 2 bags that were checked with Southwest. So 4 bags in total. I think we both had a bag of our own clothes each, and then the next 2 were like decor and extra space to bring stuff back. I do suggest using something like that. With Southwest now, I think if you're a credit card user, you get like 1 checked bag. And if you're not a credit card user, I would suggest looking into it because you're going to be spending so much on the wedding. It's going to be a great time to get some points. Now, I will say something that I wish I could have recorded, but I couldn't because we were in customs. Once you get to the airport in Cancun, you'll grab your bags. And when you're leaving or trying to leave, they will separate you or ask you questions. Typically not everyone, but if they see you with a lot of bags, they're gonna like stop you and say like, what all do you have in your bags? Are you here for a wedding? Which is what they asked us. And I said, yes. And they're like, okay, like your bags need to be inspected. So we had to go to the side room and have our bags inspected. And I'm not kidding. It was horrible. We had to open up all of our 4 suitcases, our carry-on bags. And when they saw that we had like packages and like wedding decor, they were asking us like for receipts to show them how much. If you spent over a certain amount on items, I think you have to pay to bring them into the country. I know my DJ had to pay, I forgot how much, in order to bring his DJ equipment into Mexico. For us, we were showing our Amazon receipts, like pulling up Amazon on our phone, and it was under $100. And I didn't have to pay anything. They also did not believe me that I only spent $100 on my wedding decor, but like that was the truth. So if you are taking stuff, I would say make sure that you have your receipts saved in an easy to get spot on your phone in case you're questioned about it. And try not to spend over $100 because like I said, I spent less than $100 and I didn't have to pay any fees coming into Mexico with those items. Okay, what was your experience at the sports bar after your wedding was over? We are considering continuing the party and renting out one of the convention rooms to just keep the party going. So this one is very much specific to Majestic Elegance. And after our wedding was over, everyone was wondering like where the after party is, right? We went over to the sports bar. We didn't rent it out. So like there was just anyone in there. Or somehow our DJ got behind the DJ booth and was like just turning the place up. But once that was ending, people still want to keep partying. So there was a group of people that went to downtown Cancun to party. I went to my room. Like we had drank so much. And so I honestly think we didn't even have to go to the sports bar afterwards. Like everyone probably needed to go to their room and hydrate. But if you're planning on renting out like the sports bar specifically, I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest if you absolutely want to keep the party going, renting out the ballroom. Keep in mind the ballroom will be a little bland. There's not much like already set decor in there. So you'll probably like want to look into like if you want to decorate or not. But I do think that'd be like a nice space to have everyone just hang out. I definitely would recommend if you absolutely want to keep the party going though, like book out the ballroom versus the sports bar. The ballroom will be a little more secluded. And I don't know, me, like with the way I have parties and with my group of people, like I think I always just want to be like secluded in our own space. Anything I would do differently? That is such a good question. I mean, I would definitely go with a different travel coordinator. The travel coordinator was the biggest headache for us from the get-go. And that vendor is the one that you're with from the beginning all the way through the wedding. So I just suggest getting a really good travel coordinator. I would definitely change that. I would probably not do as many like wedding favors. We took like 75 shot glasses that had our names on them. and there were so many left over. People didn't take them home. So I probably would have like maybe steered away from party favors. I know that's kind of like a big dilemma when in the wedding world of like, do you give out party favors or not? But between the shot glasses we got for people and the photo booth that wasn't even used, I think I probably would have gone without a photo booth, and I probably wouldn't have gotten so many shot glasses. I probably would have just maybe taken half of the amount of shot glasses and had them on a table for people to grab if they want, but I had ordered like one for each person that was going to be at the wedding, and I'm telling you, we had so many left over. So definitely would have changed that. All right, that's the general Q&A that I've got for today. I am going to be traveling soon, so the videos might be a little sporadic, but I'm hoping to keep getting more content like this out there for you all. Some that's just destination wedding planning, some more geared to Majestic Elegance. And if you have any questions or follow-up comments, do not hesitate to drop them in the comment section or email me. Like I said, I absolutely love getting questions and comments from you all, especially in my emails. So send them over to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.